Is there a certain amount of days that could trigger an investigation?
Newsday investigates a possible missed warning sign that may have helped save a 7-year-old allegedly killed by her caretakers.
Ananobi, corner three, fires away, shot's no good, and the Spurs win.
Win streak snapped. We're breaking down what the Knicks need to do now to rebound. Plus, sunny and warm today, but Jeff Banson is tracking some big changes on the way. I'm Macy Eglund. Newsday investigates a 7-year-old girl missed 40 days of school before her death, and her district did not have to alert CPS about those absences. Sherry Einhorn has the latest on the Jordan Duncan case.
This picture is Jordan Duncan on her first day of second grade at the Academy Street School in Bayport. What you can't tell from her smiling face, though, is that she had been absent 40 times the last half of last school year. In May 2025, Jordan missed more than 3 weeks of school, according to investigators who are now prosecuting her guardian, Emily Kelly, for allegedly torturing and killing the little girl. District officials were given excuse after excuse. It's one of the very many things now weighing heavily on Jordan's godmother, Alicia Case.
Is there a certain amount of days that could trigger an investigation?
According to a Newsday investigation, that answer is no. Right now, there is no specific requirement for school districts in New York State to report chronic absences like Jordan's to child welfare agencies.
Just about everyone we've spoken to about this in retrospect is saying, well, yes, obviously a student missing 40 days should have raised some kind of concerns that there was something going on here.
Newsday investigative reporters Peyton Guyon and Peter Dioria found that in recent years, New York has moved away from immediately involving CPS.
I think the idea there is it's better to try to let districts handle some of this stuff rather than immediately getting, Child Protective Services involved in a kid's life. I think there's some language that we have from the state education department saying that, these things can be misinterpreted.
One state lawmaker has already proposed legislation to address chronic absenteeism. His bill predates Jordan's case and is still sitting in committee.
There is a crisis in just about every school district in New York State.
The proposal by State Senator James Skoufis calls for attendance review teams to be set up in every district. Those teams would create early warning systems to identify students who could potentially have attendance issues. Mandated home visits would be required for students missing 10% of school days in a calendar year. But as of now, his proposal does not require districts to notify CPS or other agencies after a certain number of absences. So I asked him why.
This proposal is not yet done. We put this out there to begin a conversation. I think that there is some likelihood that we're going to be very explicit in making sure that CPS in one way, shape, or form is involved here.
Kelly, along with her co-defendants, her mother and her daughter, have denied the allegations. Her attorney says he doesn't believe anyone from the Bayport Blue Point School District filed a report with CPS. The district tells Newsday it is cooperating fully with law enforcement, but would not answer any questions. As this matter involves individual student privacy rights as well as an ongoing criminal investigation and prosecution, the district is unable to share details surrounding the allegations. A Suffolk County spokesperson did not respond to multiple requests for comment. The State Office of Child and Family Services, which oversees local CPS agencies, declined to comment. For Newsday TV, I'm Sherry Einhorn.
You can read more about Jordan Duncan in this case on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A Deer Park man is due in court today, accused in the hit-and-run crash that hurt a 13-year-old boy on a bike. Police say 67-year-old Charles Dreitling hit the teen on Roderick Road in West Islip Sunday night and then took off. The boy suffered a fractured finger. A name change for a dorm at Stony Brook University. The Cesar Chavez Residence Hall will be renamed after accusations that the late labor leader sexually abused young girls. The university says it will take suggestions for a new name in September. New questions about the state's decision not to test the groundwater after an East Hampton battery storage plant fire. The state did not order groundwater tests directly after the fire sent millions of gallons of smoke-fouled water into the aquifer in 2023. On June 2nd, the Suffolk County Water Authority filed a federal lawsuit claiming toxic-laced water from the site impacted 4 drinking water wells in Bridgehampton. President Trump making history at MSG, watching the Knicks snap their winning streak. As the first sitting president to attend an NBA Finals game, Trump was met with a mix of boos and cheers. He watched alongside Knicks owner James Dolan, as well as former Long Island Congressman and current EPA Chief Lee Zeldin. Now, the president's presence meant extra security. Fans stood in line for hours to get into the game, enduring TSA-like screening. But in the end, Game 3 did not go the Knicks' way. The Spurs won 115 to 111. So coming up in about 2 minutes, what New York now needs to do to bounce back. First, though, let's take a look at your forecast. We've got meteorologist Jeff Banson here to talk about another pretty nice day, Jeff.
I'm not used to the day after a Knicks loss. All we've been talking about is the Knicks win, the Knicks win.
I know.
The weather has been a win to start off this work week so far. We got another beautiful day today. Let's take a look outside Sag Harbor in Sagaponack. And this is, again, what you see is what you get. It's going to be looking like that all day long. Take a look at your beach forecast, and it is a good one. But a couple of things to talk about here. First and foremost, we have no boating advisories, so that is good if you're thinking of taking the boat out. But we do have some rip current advisories. There's a high risk of rip currents from much of the island this afternoon. The wave heights are going to be about 3 to 4 feet, and the water temperatures are still very cold out there, so keep that in mind. It's mostly western Suffolk, Nassau, into the city beaches that are not only saying it's a high risk of rip currents, but the Weather Service has gone so far as to issue a rip current statement to kind of alert that it's a moderate risk of rip currents from Smith Point out to Montauk Point. Here are 3 things you need to know. And the first and foremost, again, great day out there, top 10 weather day of the year. Enjoy it. Showers arrive tomorrow. It'll be a little cooler, a little cloudier for most of the day. I think it's dry until we get towards the evening hours and then overnight into Thursday, where we could see some thunderstorms as well. And it's going to be a very summer-like end of the week. The heat comes back and the humidity comes back as well. But nothing going on out there this morning. High pressure just sitting right on top of us. And it's going to stave off this cold front, which is just slowly meandering across the Midwest and Ohio valleys right now. But as it does approach us, you're going to start to pump up that humidity. You can see the dew points rising up as we head into Thursday and Friday especially. We could be getting those tropical-like dew points near 70 as we head towards the weekend as well. I think the weekend overall looks pretty good here, especially for any beach plans. So again, great day out there today. A lot of sunshine, just some high clouds starting to drift in out there tonight. And we'll see the temperatures on the mild side, but the humidity again not overbearing yet. We're going to get a wave of rain at some point later in the day tomorrow. There could be some downpours associated with this as well. And then sort of spotty activity overnight into Thursday. We largely clear out on Thursday. And it looks like a pretty decent day, but we'll have to watch for that PM chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Great weather today, upper 70s to near 80 on the North Shore, cooler on the South Shore, but a great one for all. 60s tonight, mostly clear skies. Again, just a couple of high clouds, maybe needing the AC in a few spots, certainly needing it later this week. Not really tomorrow so much for the temperatures. It'll be on the cooler side, but with the humidity rising as we head into Thursday with that chance of a thunderstorm. It'll be steamy for the end of the week. Weekend looking good right now. Again, beach and boat plans, all systems go for now. Hey, rain on a Monday. There we go for a change getting off the weekend. Let's hope that remains the same.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries. Newsday Sports is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy. Need to maintain or repair an old solar system? Trust Sun Nation Service to fix it like new.
Well, the Knicks' 13-game playoff winning streak is over after a crushing loss to San Antonio. Jamie Stewart and Newsday Knicks writer Steve Popper look at what's next for New York.
The 13-game playoff win streak is over, and the first NBA Finals game here at Madison Square Garden in more than 25 years ends in a very disappointing 115-111 Knicks loss. The Knicks trailed early last night, but they stormed back in the second quarter with 42 points. OG Anunoby had 28. Knicks led by 7 at the break. But the Knicks were very sloppy throughout the game. They had 13 turnovers, and in a fourth quarter that the Knicks seemed to always win, they lost. They went 7 for 27, and Victor Wembanyama had 32 points. The Knicks lose their first game since April 23rd, 115-111.
We allowed them to live in our paint. Castle got to the paint at will. Almost every pick and roll he played. And then offensively, we were about as stagnant as I've seen us all year.
We've done our best to try and learn from wins over the past couple of weeks, but now we have to learn from a loss. But I think the most important thing is that we were going to learn regardless.
Newsday Steve Popper joins me now. Steve, this is the first time we're talking after a loss in like forever. It's a little weird, but let me ask you, was this loss more because of the Knicks or the Spurs? Who do you give the credit to?
Well, it's a little bit of both, but first of all, you're right. It's 45 days. It's insane. You know, April 23rd was the last loss. It's just crazy. But I think, you know, the surprising part of this is they played so great during this run. And today they kind of reverted to those old habits. A little bit lifeless at the start of the game, a little bit lifeless at the start of the second half after they had such a big second quarter. And I think that was where it kind of turned. That start of the third quarter, let them right back in it, gave up the lead. And then you're chasing again all night long.
Do you think the magnitude of this game got to them at all, or no?
I don't think so. I think they're a very mature team. I think that the Spurs surprised me a little bit, that the maturity that they showed. Right. Look, this is a crazy atmosphere. The Garden was crazy. You know, the president's here, celebrities. It's the Knicks. It's sort of old hat to these guys. They see it every game. But for kids, you know, 22-year-old kids to come in here and do this, it was an impressive thing by them. And to fall behind like they did it and come back and do it. Right. I thought, you know, they'd take a punch and maybe not come back from it, but they do, and now it's a series.
Yeah, they showed some heart. So now the series is 2-1. Wednesday night is game 4. Who do you think the pressure is on more, Knicks or Spurs?
Well, I think the Knicks really want to keep that, you know, it's sort of that foot on the throat. You know, it's such a huge difference between going back to San Antonio 3-1 and 2-2. You know, you give back the home court advantage that you took while we're out in San Antonio. I think that the Knicks really see this as a must-win game, and they were not happy at the end of this. Mike Brown was complaining about the officiating. Yes. Jalen Brunson was kind of pinning on, you know, their own turnovers and mistakes. They were not happy. You could see it in the post-game interviews. I think we'll see a different team on Wednesday.
And for the first time in a long time, we'll see a Knicks team coming out after a loss. Very interested to see how they respond. He's Steve Popper. I'm Jamie Stewart for Newsday TV.
You can read more about the Knicks run on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. It's Pride Month here on Long Island, and there are parades, performances, and other events supporting the LGBTQ+ community from Western Nassau all the way out to the East End. Joining me now to talk more about Pride is LGBT Network President and founder David Kilmnick and Newsday's features and entertainment reporter David J. Criblet. Thanks both for being here. We appreciate it. David, we want to start with you out in the newsroom. Tell us, what's Pride Month all about on Long Island this year?
Pride Month is it's a special time of year where everybody, and I want to say everybody, comes out. It's not just about the LGBTQ+ community. It's people of all walks and races, and it really is probably the best time you'll ever have. It's certainly, I go every year, and I go to multiple ones, and it's such a great vibe.
It is so much energy, so much enthusiasm. The biggest event this year is the 36th annual Long Island Pride Parade. The theme we've heard this year is Unstoppable Pride. David, tell us about that. What can we expect at the event this year?
Sure. Well, Long Island Pride, we're in our 36th year, as you said, and it's the largest Pride event here on Long Island. It came out of a time when we had to go to court to win the right to march 36 years ago in the town of Huntington, or in Huntington Village. And over those 36 years, we've shown as a community, as a Long Island LGBTQ community, as a national LGBTQ community, that no matter what challenges our community faces, and we're certainly facing a lot today, that our pride is unstoppable. And we come together, with resilience, with pride, with joy, with visibility, and it's just an awesome, amazing time.
It really is. It's always a huge event. So we've got the parade. Tell us about the concert, too. It ends with a free concert at Heckscher. Who do we have performing this year?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yay!
So we have a litany of performers and artists and singers and et cetera. And we have the Forever Freestyle Band, which, that was my day of dancing to freestyle music.
Yeah.
And Alicia's going to be performing them, Long Island's own Alicia. And she sings Too Turned On, All Night Passion, I would sing, but I don't have a good voice.
You can hear from her at the parade.
We have RuPaul drag queens, Crystal Envy and Kenya Pleaser from this season. We have CM Performing Arts Center from Oakdale that's doing a preview of their Hairspray production. We have the Long Island Gay Men's Chorus. We have Dan Kiernan, who's a Long Islander who was on The Voice. We have our New York LGBT Network Talent winner, 15-year-old phenomenal singer. You're going to see her go places, and more. It is free. It's a full 4-hour concert. There's a beer and wine garden, a family zone. So if you have kiddies, bring them down for the slides and all that. We have about a dozen food trucks. There is just so much going on, and it's a festival that truly brings the entire Long Island community together.
David, let's get back out to you in the newsroom. We know there are a couple of other big Pride events happening across the island this month, too. Tell us about those.
Absolutely. There's an incredible Pride Parade in Patchogue, and that's going to be taking place on June 13th at noon. They do a beautiful parade that goes down Main Street, and then they also conclude with a Pride Market, where they're going to have vendors on Railroad Avenue. Then on June 27th at noon in Greenport, there's another Pride Parade, which is going to be fantastic. That's going to be traveling down Main Street, and that concludes with a festival in Mitchell Park. And that's going to have food trucks, and they have the carousel there, and it'll be a really nice celebration.
Yeah, so much to look forward to. And we should mention really quick, too, that the Long Island Pride Parade in Huntington is June 14th. So
yes, important.
Yes, June 14th, that one, too. But a lot of really exciting stuff going on. So thank you so much to David Kilnick and Newsday's David J. Criblay for being here and letting us know about all these events so we can mark our calendars. But you can find a list of all the local Pride events going on across Long Island on our website, Newsday.com. Just click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. You can see more on all of the stories you've seen today on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see there. I'm Macy Eglund here with meteorologist Jeff Banson. We've got more local news, and he's got your forecast coming up here on Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
Inside look at Long Island businesses as Newsday presents LI Works. Join Ken Bufa as he samples unique jobs and meets the people behind them. LI Works, now available at Newsday.com/LI Works.